If you want to talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. Fellow Toastmasters, these days I get lots of questions from people about how they can become better public speakers. And my answer is very simple. The easiest way to become a better speaker is to become a better person. People will tell me, well, I'm not funny when I give my speeches. And then I ask them, are you funny in your everyday life? When you walk into Starbucks in the morning, are you able to make the person behind the counter laugh despite the fact that you are about to pay a ridiculously high price for a cup of coffee? If the answer is no, if you can't make people laugh in your day-to-day life, then you can't expect to make people laugh when you're giving speeches. Even if you go to a meeting once a week and you speak every week, those 7 minutes are not going to counterbalance the way you spend the rest of your time. If you want to become a better public speaker, you've got to incorporate the principles of effective public speaking into your day-to-day affairs. If you want to talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. It's helpful to know that for the communication track in Toastmasters. It's absolutely critical for the leadership track. Because on the leadership track, walking the walk gives you the credibility that you need when you're talking the talk. And I'd like to share a story with you about that. When I went to the 2010 International Convention, I was a country mouse in the city for the very first time. I'd never seen the landscape of Toastmasters from a higher point of view than our district conferences. And I was terrified. I felt like a person visiting a Toastmasters meeting for the very first time, especially before the World Championships behind the stage. I sat there talking to my girlfriend Josephine, whom many of you know. I was listening to the Motown music classics in my headphones, trying to calm my nerves. And I spent a lot of time praying. Because backstage, the reality of what I was about to do, get on stage and talk in front of 2,000 people, really started to sink in. Because not only did I have to do that, but I planned to do it wearing a costume. A move that several fellow contestants stressed was a very, very bad idea. I can't tell you how many people walked up to me and said, "Is that what you're planning to wear out on stage? Might want to rethink that." And then this stately looking man walks over to me while I'm praying, and he asks me, "Are you praying?" I honestly didn't know what to say. I'm not used to people asking me that question outside of church. He put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "I'm a believer, and if you'd like, I'll say a prayer with you." And I remember thinking inside of my head, I need all the prayers I can get, so I would like very much for you to say a prayer with me. But I simply said yes. And he bowed his head with me, and he said a prayer. I'm not going to say I wasn't still scared getting up there on that stage, but I at least believed in myself, and I believed that I was capable of giving the best speech that I'd ever given in my life after that man said that prayer with me. And after he walked away, I turned to Josephine and I said, "Who was that?" And she said, "I don't know, but I think he's somebody really important." I said, "Yeah, I think so too. You know why? He's really tall." She said, "Yeah, I bet he's the president of something." I said, "You're right. He did seem very presidential. Maybe he's the president of his club back home." I thought, I think to be here right now, you probably have to be even more important than that. I'm curious to find out later. And I did find out later when I walked out on the stage for the contest. And I realized that the man who said the prayer with me behind the stage, who introduced himself very simply the same way we'd greet any new member at a weekly Toastmasters meeting, was in fact our president, Michael Notaro. And as I caught a glance from him walking up on stage, I think I found himself thinking, when he saw me in that bomber's helmet and goggles, "Lord, thank you so much for giving me the guidance to say a prayer with this guy. He does in fact need all the prayers that he can get." Well, fortunately, the contest worked out well for me. And Michael, I've never had the chance to say thank you face to face, and I'm so sorry I can't be there today. I'm speaking at a conference in Los Angeles this week for District 1, but I did want to take this time to publicly thank you. And if you don't mind, I'd also like to take this time to return the favor. God, thank you for this wonderful organization full of wonderful people that make gatherings like this possible. Thank you for my friend Michael. Thank you for the prayer that he said with me that day before the World Championships, not only because it encouraged me to achieve, but because it taught me the importance of making sure that I encourage others to achieve. That is a message that helps keep me humble, and it helps me to glorify you through helping others succeed. As Michael prepares to take the stage, please fill his lungs with the power they need to deliver that same message to all of our members today. And please fill our hearts with the power that we need to hear it, to absorb it, and to practice it, so that we too can gain credibility from walking the walk when it's our turn to talk the talk. In his name, amen. Fellow Toastmasters, as Michael prepares to deliver his message to you about the importance of encouraging others to achieve, I want you to keep something in mind. I could have taken more time than I've taken to speak to you today to list off his achievements. In fact, I could take more time doing that than he's going to take speaking to you today. But I don't think anything puts in better perspective how he incorporates these principles into his day-to-day life than the story that I just told you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our president, Michael Notaro.